Hello and welcome to Lights on LA. I'm your host, Louise Gill. This evening I have with me a gentleman who I'm sure all of you have heard about, have seen just recently. He did a new premiere, 2 new premieres. A gentleman that is an actor, a writer, a director, a producer, a man that has many traits, of course. And we're talking about Mr. Vahid Pirhamsi. I probably, smothered your name, but we know you as Vahid. Uncle Raphael, you come with different names. How are you?
Wow, thank you, Louise. Thank you for the invitation.
You're very welcome. Well, you just had 2 premieres, Unusual Heroes, which premiered at Stars Theater on May 17th, and then another one, The 2 Treasures of Raphael, which premiered on May 30th.
Right.
Crazy,
huh?
Crazy. 2 very different. Let's talk about it. And it's going to be coming back by popular demand, should we say. Your Unusual Heroes will be on Sunday, June 22nd. And 2 Treasures of Raphael will be repeated June 15th, Father's Day, at Stars Theater. How did you do 2 at the same time? People can't even do 1, and now you're doing 2.
Well, they're 2 different. It's like, I would say it's like reading books, If you're reading one book, and then if it's an action book or romantic, and then you can just close that and then go open another one and read it, So working on 2 different projects actually is not that hard because they're totally different. One is in English, one is in Armenian, and that is giving me more strength to move forward. And I think the second thing is that I like the challenge. And it was hard, it was really hard time-wise because you really want to put your energy equally.
Right.
So what I did is I kind of designed my time prior to the premieres that how much time I'm spending on writing, which took me months and months, and then decided that I'm gonna start rehearsing with one group and then have a gap and then rehearse with the other group.
Now
and
the actors are the same or are they different?
The actors are different. Only my wife, Anahid Avanesian, is in both plays. And the reason she's in both plays because with the Uncle Raphael play, my Uncle Raphael had already about 3 different plays before. And then so she was playing in those plays and she was the daughter-in-law, so she was a character already, so she had to be in it. Not just because she's my wife, but
then she had to be in the
whenever I start writing, she comes and goes like, "What are you writing for me?"
There was an episode on I Love Lucy with that, Ricardo and Lucy.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. We're like Ricardo and Lucy, I swear to God. She loves Lucy.
I want to roll.
She's like that. And she does perform well. To be honest with you, she's very natural. The reason I do write for my wife is that she is natural.
She's beautiful.
She knows, it's in her blood. Especially comedy, she's really good at it. She knows timing, and in these days, you really want to work with actors that it's easy to work with.
True.
And when it comes to play, especially with movies that I work on, usually, you go after the great actor and actresses. You do your auditions, you take your time because there is certain times you're working with them. In that time frame, they're coming, they're doing their job, and they're leaving. With plays, I like to become a family, It is like a family. You're rehearsing. You have to help each other on stage. So you want to work with people that they're nice human beings too.
Let's talk a little bit about your actors and actresses and how difficult and what challenges you had.
The challenge was the time. Because when you're working with actors, any kind of actors, when it comes to a play, because play requires a lot of rehearsal because of the dialogues, and monologues. So what happens is you really want to find the time to rehearse that everybody can come. So the challenge is to schedule the rehearsals because some of the actors, they have a other job and they have to come or go to school, go to college or university, which I had Norine Avakian going to school and she was also working too. That was the challenge. That was the only challenge, which we did it
I would
really well.
have assumed that the challenges would have been you're having 2 plays, different characters, different actors, actresses. When did you have time?
No, that wasn't the challenge for me. I think it's about focus, Louise John. I think you need to focus in any kind of business. You know, it's you have to focus for that time frame that you're doing whatever you're doing. You have to focus on that. So when I'm rehearsing my English play, I do focus 100% on that. I do not think about other plays, anything else. And then when I close that chapter, I move forward the next day or the next week, and then I focus on my other project. But there is also always drama with actors, you know. One is late, one is. But with us, it was funny because from the beginning, my actors know me. I always make fun, you know. The fun part is that even if they're like anything they're saying is sarcastic, you know, and then it's funny, and then we laugh. At the end, it's wonderful.
Now, the dialogue is both comedy, or is it drama, or?
Well, with me, there is always a message, something hidden there. I do not like to preach. I don't think, you know, where as a writer and director, you like to preach to the audience, and this is right, this is wrong. Because I think the best thing is to act out. Right. So there's always a message somewhere. But with the English one, Unusual Heroes, I would say is a tragic comedy. It's not comedy per se, there is drama.
And how was the premiere?
I've heard good stuff, you know.
Well,
I'm not the one who should say it was great, but I think it was really good. And because of that, we're doing it again, you know. Usually, especially in English. When it's in English, the reason I did it in English is that a lot of people, they always talk about the new generation. The new generation do not go watch any plays because play is something that it's been there for over 3,000 years. But still, when it comes to music and concert, it's in our blood, it's in our body, you know. If you have an Armenian music, everybody will start moving. When you talk about the story and the character, they have to be focused to listen. So doing it in English was one of those things that I'm trying to get the American Armenians and the new generation to be more interested. And that kind of happened. And I have footages later on, our audience will see that people talk about, I'm so glad you did this in front of the camera after the play and saying, I came with my kids. And my kids are teenagers, and they enjoyed it. Wonderful. So just bringing the parents with the kids coming to the play was my goal, which kind of happened.
And you succeeded.
I'm hoping on June 22nd there will be more.
If it's a repeat, then that means it was successful. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that there were, in every play there were expenses. Did you concur that yourself? Is it something that you had assistants, sponsors?
I do produce my own plays, and whatever I do produce myself. But at the same time, when it comes to expenses, sponsorship is very important. But to me, it's not all about the dollar amount. So I don't go after people asking for, hey, be my sponsor for this play and pay me, and you're going to gain this and that. To me, is more important about the relationship you build with your audience. That's Meaning, true. If you're going to build, they're going to come. So with me, this is what's happening. So I know if I'm doing something, they're backing me up. Those are my sponsors, the audience out there. And there are some sponsors out there that they do help and support. I would say more support, and I do appreciate all the time.
You know, let's talk a little bit about how you actually started. I mean, you picked acting, the writing, directing, and producing. How did all that come around? Let's talk a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I was born in Iran, Tehran, the capital. And then in my childhood, my sisters, they're telling me, because I was the youngest, that you always, and I like drawing, and painting. So they told me that you were always being creative, and you would, create stuff, and you would come and tell stories. I mean, that's what they're telling me. But then again, I remember that it started all from painting. Wow. Because in school, in middle school, I remember that we went to the auditorium and there was a big play, an Armenian play, Gikor, the most famous story we had. There was going to be a performance. Our teacher asked a few of our kids to come on stage and help painting and designing that old village, Armenian village there. Right. And I remember I was doing that and looking at those empty seats. It felt something. I felt something. So I fell in love with acting to begin with. And then from stage acting. And then from that point on in Iran, I did do like 2 or 3 different plays, but in Farsi, because in school we would, go to other schools and do Farsi plays. And the writing came after, because I always liked storytelling, and I always liked characters. And then I felt like, oh, this is something to write about.
Well, we're going to take a short break. Remember what you were just saying, and we'll be right back.
Ուշադրություն, ուշադրություն։ Սիրված դերասան Վահիկի նոր ներկայացումը Ռաֆայել Քերուն երկու գանձերը եւս մեկ անգամ Կիրակի հունիսի 15-ին Stars թատրոնում։
Հենց երկում էի, որ դուրս գայի,
Եթե ո՞ց եմ, որ երկու։
Դերերում Վահիկ Փիրամզեի, Անահիտ Ավանեսյան, Շաքե Թուխմանյան, Լուսինե Սարգսյան, Լյուդվիգ Մանուկյան, իսկ ժողովրդի կողմից շատ սիրված համով հոտով ու հումորով Ռաֆայել Քերու դերում Վահիկ Փիրամզեի։
$20,000 հաշվից փոխելը։ Ուրա, ով վերցրե։
Ուրա բանակաս։
Ray, come in. Let's note it for the record that all persons of the immediate Kasemi family are now present.
I still don't see what right he has to be here. My father.
Where are you going?
Let him go. Ray, wait, please.
Ray's wife was killed in a hit and run.
This is Detective Scott Jackson.
Sorry about your wife.
It's been a year, Sean. We don't even have a witness to ID a driver. We're gonna have some fun.
I can hardly wait.
Knock, knock. Listen, John, you have something that belongs to me, that which you took.
What kind of sick person does this?
They're just pictures.
Why would somebody take pictures of Vicky and LA and put them on my car, John?
I got this call from a worried Persian mother. Her daughter is half Persian, half American. She's in LA for a few more days. We need someone to keep an eye on her.
Listen, pal. There are some well-connected people out there. Okay, and I mean legitimately well-connected higher-ups. Can't touch them.
And we're back, and let's continue. I'm sorry.
Sure.
The storytelling.
Yeah, and then writing came second, I would say. And in school, even, I remember they would bring from other schools. They would come and say, "Hey, this season, we have competition, in sport and this and that." And I remember there was a writing competition. It was very strange. They brought like 5 different stories, which it was only 3-4 pages written, to a point that something happens and the character goes like, and then ... and then you had to fill the rest and write the story. I did win that competition, which I was about 13, 14.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's interesting. I never talked about this. This is interesting. You asked, about this story. So I did win that, and then after that, I never thought about writing again till I came to America. And then because I started working with these Persian legends, writers, directors, who after revolution came to America.
Right.
In the first couple of years, they had lavish lifestyle. They thought they're gonna go back, Iran is gonna be changed, and it never happened.
It never happened.
So what happened is all these big shot writer, directors, and actors, movie stars, and screenwriters, it was a very expensive hobby to do movies here. So they turned into writing plays.
Wonderful.
So that's when I got involved and worked with them in the beginning. And then I learned that I want to be the kid who says, the guy who says the kid stays in a picture, like Robert Evans. I felt like I went to acting, not acting school, but acting classes and workshops. I used to work in a print shop and make my money and then go pay to these classes. And then I realized you have to go to like 40, 50 auditions in order to get a small part, which then I realized I'm acting out someone else's idea. And
Why not do it myself?
Why not create my own stuff, because at least I have to start from a little by little. So that's how I started 20 years ago. And after 20 years, I did write and produce my own Hollywood movie. 2 years ago it came out, My Uncle Raphael. I think patience is a good thing.
It is. I always like to hear about the background, because there is always a little story behind how somebody started, and it's fascinating.
Right.
And it's nice to remember how someone started and where they will go and what they have become so far. And truly, it has been amazing. You are very talented, someone that could maneuver all these different types of actor, writer, director, and producer. It's not an easy task. And to be able to do it very well and master in all of them, it does take patience, but it also comes within. And that's something that you obviously had the experience. I think that this time around at Stars Theater, it's going to be a little different. You were mentioning, you were talking about tables. Is that something they're going to dinner, or could you tell us a little bit about what's going to happen?
With Unusual Heroes, with the play, with the English play, the other thing that I realized, it's better to have, when they talked about we're coming with our kids and this and that, and the teenagers, I mean, not the kids, I mean, they're grown up, but they're going like their own way, you know, with their girlfriends or they're going partying. I felt like Armenians, they like to sit around table. You know, it's like a family thing. So that dawned on me that maybe I want to do with tables, like table of 2, 4, 6, and they can, you know, have probably appetizer. I haven't talked to the place, but they do have hot wings and food and stuff and drinks. And because we opened the door like 45 minutes prior to the show, they can come and sit and have their drink, and then they can have mingling, a family moment, and then the show will start. That's what I'm planning to do for June 22nd.
And for the Armenian...
For the Uncle Raphael show, the comedy show, because it's what I did is different in the Armenian play, which after the show they came to me and they said they liked it, is that I created the character's son, Uncle Raphael's son Hamo, opened a comedy club. And because he's kind of a crook, he does not pay all the comedians, so he's asking his dad to go, you know, for a few nights. So what I do, I have my own story, which people come and watch with Uncle Raphael, what's happening. He wants to go to Armenia, the sister is against it, and this and that. And then we close the curtain, and the Uncle Raphael comes to the comedy club, and the audience who are watching the play become the comedy club audience. And then Uncle Raphael does stand-up comedy, which has nothing to do with the other story. Wow. So they're like, with one ticket, they're getting 2 different type of show. And I have a couple of guitar players, which, we have lyrics and music. And my wife, Anna, who's talented, she wrote a few lyrics that has to do with the story. So those guitar players are also singing, tying the story together. Each time we open the curtain and we close the curtain. And that's what's happening. So with that said, it's more of a sitting, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they're asking for tickets to come. So we're trying to have everyone enjoy the show, and then so we have 2 different type of
So those
shows
that have already seen it must go see it back again.
Well, I do have audience like that, and I do appreciate their coming back. It's amazing. Sometimes I'm telling myself, I always, at the end of the play, I tell the people that, to the audience, that it's because of you we are continuing. And that's the truth. I don't care what others say. Some talents, they think like, oh, they're coming for us, you know.
No.
They like us, they're coming for us. But I think it doesn't matter. I mean, it's like...
I think it's both.
It takes 2 to tango, you know.
It takes 2 to tango, you're very right. And it is both. And I think they do come to see you, but in return you reciprocate by giving to them.
Exactly.
Because laughter is a wonderful medicine.
That's what they say.
And we need that in life, especially with all the, the busyness and the schedules that we have. It's nice to have nights like this where you have created, where we could bring in the family and sit and have fun and enjoy as a family and enjoy it, because we don't have that much anymore, you know.
I think there are so many things going on around, and then we're like, I think we Armenians mostly are. I always say it's all about being tangible. Anything you can see and touch, you feel about that, and then you go towards that. But at the same time, there are thoughts that you also think about that, and then it becomes so much for us. So they always go towards things that they're more familiar. And for us to create new stuff for them, it's like you're coming out of your comfort zone.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, as you mentioned, comedy is the best medicine. So in any form, you can give it to the audience, they will be there.
That's true. If people want tickets, where do they purchase their tickets?
We have two ways. One, calling the number with our team that they're answering the phone and delivering the tickets to the audience is
818-265-0506.
So they're mastering that. And also, itsmyseat.com. They go online if they want to purchase it online. It's very easy. They see the map, they see the seats at itsmyseat.com. Even /Vahik, it would be my own show.
Wonderful. Now, I know that you have something upcoming. This is not the only project that you have. And we're going to be seeing a trailer, or if they did see it already. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I would say it's a movie. It's a motion picture movie in English. It's after my Uncle Raphael. I still, again, turned and made a drama, action drama movie instead of comedy. I love drama. They're asking me, is it about comedy or drama? Which one are you? Why? I say, once I said something, and this reporter told me, this is good, keep saying that. I said, I don't know, comedy is in my heart. Comedy is timing, you know. Comedy is in my blood and drama is in my heart. That's what I said. And I feel it. So that's why I went towards drama when it comes to movie. Movie is different. Movie is like many takes. Movie is like so much. You have to zoom out and look at it from up there and then come forward and start putting things together. Because with movies, there are so many talents, they work together in order to make that movie. From writing, directing, producing, editing, you know, cinematography, everything. So I have this action drama which is coming out in October to the theaters. Wonderful. Here in Glendale too, at AMC Burbank and Americana.
Do we know what it's called, or is it a secret?
Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel is the name. I play the lead character, who's the Guardian Angel. Being a security guard company owner, somehow he's supposed to look after this girl who's from Toronto, who's a young girl, a model and beautiful girl who's in town, but there are people after her. And he promised the mom that I'm going to look after the girl for about 2 days so she can return safe. And so many things happens in that 2 days. Why don't we take a look at the trailer?
Exactly. Well, I wanted to say thank you very much. I truly appreciate you being a part of my show. I wish you the best of luck on June 22nd and June 15th, Father's Day, and June 22nd. It will be a wonderful, amazing show. Tickets can be bought at itsmyseat.com/Vahik, or the infamous number that we all know, 818-265-0506.
Ուշադրություն, ուշադրություն։ Սիրված դերասան Վահիկի նոր ներկայացումը Ռաֆայել Քերու երկու գանձերը եւս մեկ անգամ Կիրակի հունիսի 15-ին Stars թատրոնում։ Դերերում Վահիկ Փիրամզեի, Անահիտ Ավանեսյան, Շաքե Թուխմանյան, Լուսինե Սարգսյան, Լյուդվիգ Մանուկյան, իսկ ժողովրդի կողմից շատ սիրված համով հոտով ու հումորով Ռաֆայել Քերու դերում Վահիկ Փիրամզեի։ Կիրակի հունիսի 15-ին զանգահարեք 818-265-0506։
All right, Miss Robinson, let's start at the beginning. When you first met Ray.
Ray was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Coming to LA was my decision, okay? I'm a big girl, I can handle this.
You're in the security business. It's a job. The mom wants her kid to be watched out when it's someone to keep an eye on her.
You have something that belongs to me, that which you took. I want it back.
But Sean, I do corporate securities, concerts, clubs, stuff like that.
You're getting yourself into some hot water. She's mine as collateral. Who's the girl? Who the fuck are you? So what now?
Amazing. Wow. How did you do that? This is a lot of action.
A little bit of action, yeah. Well, I learned how to do that, but I remember this stunt coordinator came. They're very expensive. The stuntmen and stunt coordinators in Hollywood, because we're talking about union. This is a union movie, working with union actors. It's very expensive, and then it's all by the book. So you have to be very, all the timing and everything, extra pays. So you're, independent and budget.
Right.
So being the producer and director also, he came to me and says, Vahik, maybe we should get you a double for this fight sequence. His name is Nick Herms. He's great. I said, Nick.
Let me guess, you're in Armenian. You go, I'll do it.
No. I said the reason I said I'll do it because I said, you know what, Nick, we don't have budget, so kick me. So I'm gonna get that kick and then feel the pain. But let's try to make it real. But they do, teach you how to fight, and that was one thing. And also I lost a lot of weight to play, because when it comes to movies, camera adds pounds and stuff like that. So I had to be very skinny. So I do that. But for the play, again, for Uncle Raphael, I had to gain weight. So I came up to, it's not an earthquake. I came up to about 240 now because I'm doing the play. But in October, for the promotion and the red carpet, I have to lose again, going back to 170.
How do you do that? What's the secret?
Believe it or not, there are a team. There are a few people. They wanna start dieting with me. They're like waiting.
We would love to know
in
that.
July to start for 2 months coming. Discipline. That's the first thing. And then I go swimming. Swimming is the best. I go swimming every morning 5 a.m. for 40 minutes, maximum 45 minutes. And then after that, I have this dietitian and the trainer who's teaching me what to eat, what not to eat, and how much to eat. And usually, after every 3 hours you have to eat. The one thing she told me, which is very true, and remember, she said...
Note for the audience.
Yeah, note for the audience. When you eat anything, when you eat lunch or dinner or breakfast, after 3 hours, if you're not hungry, it means you ate a lot. Okay. So after 3 hours, you have to be still hungry, because every 3 hours, so you have to eat very small portions, basically.
Every 3 hours.
If after 3 hours you're not hungry, it means you ate more. So you have to be careful.
Going back to the trailer, how difficult was it to do a trailer, a movie again, considering the fact that you were busy with this? And I know you said patience, time, and all that, and you liked it, but I know that a movie takes way more. The script is written by you?
Yeah, the script is written by me. As a writer, you always have stories in your mind. You're thinking about different stories, and then it kind of goes in your mind somewhere back, and then you'll lock it. And then probably years later, you're thinking, oh my God, I feel the opportunity is presenting itself, and you want to talk about that story that you had in your mind, and then you go and do your research. That's why I did that drama action, because of creating a character. Because for me, it's very important. I realized always when I was a young kid, story and character are the two most important things in movie making. You go to theater, it doesn't matter how much technology, how much burning, blowing up and action is going on, or different style, imagination, everything else. It always comes down to story and character.
And the character.
Yeah, so I always wanted to do that, and the time presented itself. Last year we shot it. It takes months and months, I
was going to ask you, how long does something like that take?
Oh, it takes a year to do a movie. But fortunately, when you have good people and experts, around you in your team, you call people that they come and join you. And if everybody is doing their own job, everything goes smooth. But the other thing is, because we're doing an independent movie, when we say independent, it's not a studio movie, then the budget is low. When the budget is low, you always have to share your thoughts and your goal with people. And if they understand your goal and your thoughts and your whatever you're trying to say and do, they're gonna come forward, and then you're on the same page, and then you move forward. Everything is gonna be smooth. It takes probably for that movie, we did more than 8 weeks of pre-production. When you don't have much budget, you want to be very prepared when you're starting to shoot. So you do a longer pre-production. And then that was a 23 days shoot. We did 23 days. And our, days are not 8 hours a day, or more like 12 to 16.
To 16.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that because I was the director and also playing one of the actors in a movie, when it comes to that, as a producer, you have to think about there are a few scenes you want to shoot in one day. And you're also in that scene. So what I did from the beginning, I said, you know what, Vahik, because you wrote the character, you know the character very well, try to give more takes to your co-actor. So then as a producer, I say, Vahik, you take probably 1 or 2 takes, and then you give 3 or 4 or 5 takes to your co-actor. And then this way you can keep the balance and then get all the shots.
Get all the shots.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of schooling here talking about movies.
I know. So if anybody wants to be one of
I always help anybody. People call me that I don't know. They're asking me. I like to help. I like to think of to give positive energy, and especially the new generation. They're gonna be great.
Well, they definitely will be with guidance like you and performances like this. I wish you the best of luck. And
Thank you.
For anybody that wants to get tickets, it's myseat.com or 818-265-0506. Father's Day, wonderful way to take out Dad and have a family night and see the 2 Treasures of Raphael at Stars Theater. And again, also on Sunday, June 22nd, again at Stars, Unusual Heroes. I wish you all the best of luck for the upcoming movie and for your performances, and all the best of luck to you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for watching Lights on LA. Thank you and good night.